JF. Add more flavor.
It is Relationship Thursday on JF. Welcome to the show. We are happy to have you tune in today. Such a beautiful, beautiful day or morning or evening, depending on when you're listening to the show. Relationship Thursday is all about relationship in general, not just the intimate side of relationships, but relationship as a whole. So today we decided to just take it back and look at the genesis of unconditional love. That is where we see a child being born, experiencing the love of a parent or parents for the first time and growing together in love. So today we have Khayelihle Maziya with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We are so happy to have you today and humbled. We are excited to hearing you sharing your story, your experience as far as this topic is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand over to Khayelihle and we see where we go.
All right, thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here to just share a bit about my experiences. I'm a first-time mom. My baby is 10 months old. Yay, done a great job. A beautiful little girl. And so I think that's what maybe qualified me to be invited today, I think.
Yes, name of the child.
Lumanele azofezwa Dlamini.
Umlangen. Siyabonga bodlamini.
Yes, Umlangen. Mali yekuthenga.
Yes.
Yes.
So, we are looking at the genesis of unconditional love. Can you just take us briefly, through your journey, maybe during pregnancy and the child is born, like as far as your relationship bond, how has that been?
Okay, so I think with the relationship with my daughter, my partner and I had her. We were not planning on it, but God had a plan, but it's fine. But it's all good. We're happy to have her. So I was just really blessed to have a great support system in my life. And I feel like that sort of removed a lot of the stress that comes along with pregnancy, because pregnancy is a lot. It's a lot on your body.
True.
And it's a lot also if you're unmarried in society, and if you're me, you've been a church person, Jesus girl forever. And it's like, what happened to that one? Now you're pregnant, and so it's really a shameful thing. So it helps having a great support system. My family was great. They're very excited about the baby. They were not really condoning the act of, enjoying the fruit before, but they were excited to just have another addition to their family. My boyfriend, the father of my child, was very supportive because it wasn't always like that. He was always supportive, but it was a scary time for us both. But I think pregnancy was hard. There were challenges here and there, but we went through them, and we're better for them. But I do think that it was very difficult to sort of bond with the baby. I remember that a friend of mine was pregnant around the same time, and we were doing everything around the baby, like preparing for the baby to get here and everything, but she would talk about how she speaks to her baby and stuff like that, and I really, really struggled with that, because I think my doctor said I had maternal distress, and I remember that after the baby came, I struggled with a lot of postnatal depression, which is a very shameful thing in society. Sometimes, because in our society, especially because it's not really talked about, you struggle to bond with your baby.
True.
If you have that. So I really didn't know who to talk to, what to say. Yeah, my baby was really difficult, and she wouldn't sleep. She was just always up, always wanting attention, and it just took so much from me. And for like 7 weeks, I didn't have help, So I loved her. I wanted to protect her, but I remember that I would have nights where I would just break down and just cry, because it was just overwhelming, It's only when I saw someone, like a therapist, spoke about it, that I was properly diagnosed and I got the help that I needed. And then that's when one day I just looked at her and I just felt all of those things that they talk about on TV, that I just really thought I was broken and I'd never feel those things.
Yeah.
It took me a while, but I got there.
Yeah. Wow. So, as we speak, your bond with your daughter, how is that? Are you happy with the progress? Is it crazy? What's happening?
Babies are born selfish. They exist to take.
Yeah.
But then the crazy thing about them is that you love them and you can't imagine your life without them. My bond with my baby is crazy. I think about when I'm frustrated with her, like, why won't you sleep? Why won't you, why do you have such an attitude and whatever? Because I think she has an attitude, and I think she gets that from the dad.
Dad, wherever you are,
she gets that from you. She gets that from your side. But I wouldn't want another baby, except for this baby, as difficult as it's been and whatever. And for me, it's important to try and spend time with her, as much time as I can, because I have like a job, an 8 to 5. I have things that I like to do, go to church and whatever. Yeah. But it's important for me to spend time with her, and I don't know, maybe I project how I think. Like, I never wanted to think my mommy is not here. I don't know, but I think we have a great bond for her age. Yeah, I think we're good.
Wow, that's really, really nice. Let's take it back a bit. At a point in time, you were also a child. How was the development of that love bond with your parents up to now? How was that experience? How did it work out? Just tell us more about that.
That's like basically my childhood, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I come from a Christian home. I have a mom and a dad and sisters.
Yeah.
Most of my life, all my life really, my mom has been a church-going woman, a God-fearing woman. She's like a preacher woman, And my dad has dabbled here and there, a bit on the alcoholic side and a bit on the Jesus side, but he's great,
Yeah.
So my childhood was very interesting, but one thing that was always consistent is that my mom was always there.
Yeah.
I think looking back, when I look at my daughter now, I just always thank God that, looking back, I feel like I've always been blessed with amazing moms at every stage in my life. Because I promise you, everyone thinks they have the best mom in the world.
Yeah.
I think I have an amazing mom. I saw my mom raise us. She didn't have much. My mom didn't have a car till, I don't know, like varsity and whatever, because even though if she didn't have kids, she could have bought herself a car. But she couldn't buy a car because she was raising kids at the time. So her life was just a life of sacrifice. She laid down her life for us. And, there are certain things that I understand better now. I know it's only been 10 months, but there's just certain things that I've grown to appreciate and respect about my mom that maybe I never really saw as a child, I remember that my mom would, for instance, if at work they would go, let's say they had a meeting somewhere at a fancy hotel or something like that.
Yeah.
We always had the food my mom had. Whatever she had during the day, that's what we had. She'd bring it back for us. I don't know if this is embarrassing or not, but I don't think so. I think
unconditional
it's
love.
I think it's unconditional, because if it's illegal, then mom, thanks for breaking the law for us. You know.
Thank you, mom.
Yeah, we had, because I mean, at the time, looking back now, I realized my mom couldn't afford certain things. She couldn't afford to buy us pizza. You know, the things that we take for granted. She couldn't afford so many things, but we had so many things. I remember that at some point in time, she would, once every couple of months, she would, at the time, the biggest thing you could do for your kids, I think, was take them to Spur.
Yeah.
So she would take us there, and we'd sit there, and we'd be so happy to have been taken to Spur until we sat down. And then she would start speaking in her confidential voice. Then she'd be like, 50 rand, 50 rand, 50. Then
yeah.
then we'd just be so disappointed. Like, why did you even bother? But now I get it, because she wanted us to have those simple little pleasures. So I've seen my mom lay down her life so that we could have a life, you know. My mom is, according to me, is living her best life now. Her kids are old. Her youngest is a practicing doctor. The other one is pursuing her master's degree in whatever. She's just living her best life, you know, and I'm happy for her. I feel like she deserves that. That's not the only mother figure that I've had. You know, I've had beautiful women come into my life and teach me many things, you know, about motherhood. So that's been my upbringing.
Well, looking back at how maybe you were raised, your love from your parents, how has that affected you as far as raising your child now?
Well, it's interesting how sometimes you don't know just how much stuff affects you, or how much your mind can absorb until you have your own child.
True.
You know, like I was saying, that there are certain things that I understand why my mom would do certain things or act a certain way. You know? For me, I've come to understand that the sacrifices that my mother made or that are to be made in as far as parenting is concerned are not just financial. They go to every sphere or every dimension of your life. Do you understand what I mean? For instance, if you want to be a good parent, you can't exactly be proud at the same time. You can't, love and pride can't coexist. Your ego and pride can't, you know, it can't sort of coexist. So it's always about the child. And that's the example that I was raised with. I'm not married to the father of my child. And I've been blessed. I know that not a lot of women are blessed with this, but
true.
I've been blessed with a sane person, you know, to parent with. And while we may not always agree on a lot of things, we agree on one thing, and that is the love that we have for the child. And then loving her means that we have to put sometimes our personal agendas aside, you know. You know, when you're dating, it's easy to be upset, like, I'm not talking to you. When you have a child, there's none of that.
It's about a child.
We are always talking, whether you feel like talking to me, whether you want to see my face, you always have to see my face, unfortunately, because you made me pregnant, you know. Even if I don't want to pick up the phone, I have to pick up the phone. So for me, that is just, those are just the sacrifices. And also, I feel like it teaches you to be calmer. I never used to understand when people said that. Would say, having a baby makes you calmer. It humbles you, because now you start counting your words and your approach, and you're more willing to bend and stuff like that. So I feel like being a parent for me has made me a better person and is making me a better person. And unconditional love for me is now expressed in me willing to die every day, sometimes to things that I really want, you know, or things I really want to say, or things you know, my rights and whatever, so that the rights of my child can be realized. And, you know, so that's what it's about for me. So I would encourage anyone out there that is co-parenting, you know, to just always put the needs of your child first.
First, yeah.
You know, your agendas, your unfinished emotional business, that is a real thing. But you don't get to use that as a tool, you know, or a weapon. You don't get to weaponize your child, rather, you know, against the other party. Your child always comes first. If you fight or whatever, you know, I'm not gonna call first.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to call first. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I hear you.
It's a death to self. That is unconditional love for me, and I'm forever thankful for that. It's difficult some days, but I'm grateful to be learning that and to be growing as a person, because I think I can only get better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Listeners, you've heard it. Parents are so important. In fact, a bond with your parent is so important, such that for me, I believe, you know, even before you get married, if your relationship with your parents is not well aligned, you might even have problems that side. So to the parents, thank you for loving us. Thank you for keeping on loving us. And if we have a parent out there who does not love their child, you better change. You better change. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Khayelihle Maziya. Wow, thank you for such a I'd say a balanced story.
Thank you.
We really hope that the listeners got something from that, and we wish you all the best as you raise your beautiful daughter.
Thank you.
And all the best. Hey, thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me. I loved it. I hope I'll come back again.
Definitely. Listeners, have a lovely week. This is the last segment this week. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.